morning, everybody. Denise with Lacey K Homestead. Well, here we are, day 8 in our Sourdough Starter from Scratch series. And today at the end, we are going to use our pour-off from today in sourdough pancakes. And I think that's going to be exciting so you can see what you can actually use your pour-off for. You could have used yesterday's pour-off for it, but I didn't have time because I had to run to Walmart. And I did go to Walmart and I did find half-gallon jar. So this is what I'm going to use today. I put a little rubber band around it just because, well, actually I think this rubber band's going to bite the bullet here. It's got a little tear. So anyways, I put it around there so I could see how far my starter rose. So we are going to start with that. Here's our starter from yesterday. We have some nice bubbles. Let me just show you. I like you to see it every morning. Here we go. Bubbles. Smells good. Nice and nutty, sour, kind of creamy. There's no mold or anything that looks bad. I know I say it every day, but it is important that you check. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this big old girl on the scale. And we are going to tare her back to 0. Okay, there we go. And we are going to go ahead and pour in 200 grams. Again, this is what we're going to do from now on. 200 grams of the starter. And again, I have to be kind of quiet because I mess up. Okay, so all that, which will probably be about a cup, is what we're going to use in our pancakes today. Oh, and I had a very long spoon. So if you do use a big jar like this, you're going to have your bigger spoon because this will do it, but it's a little bit cumbersome. So whatever works for you. Okay, let me get that out of there. I think I got some starter on me, but that's all right. It is sticky, if you haven't found that out. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put the all-purpose in here, and it's going to be 200 grams. So we want to tare it back to 0 again. All right, we're almost there. I know it seems like we're using a lot of flour, but once you get to use your pour-off for things that you'll actually use, I put a little bit much in here because, again, I was talking. Once you can use your pour-off for things, it doesn't seem like you're really going through a lot because I know that flour is very expensive these days. All right, there we are at 200. Okay. Now we're going to pour in our lukewarm or room temperature water. I did warm mine up a little bit this morning because it was a little cold in here. I didn't have my heat on last night. Tearing back to 0. Pouring in 200 milliliters or grams. I just love that sound. All right, there we are at 200. Pretty good. All right, we're going to go ahead and remove our scale and mix this down. Get that out of the way. And we're just going to mix it together. Again, you know, making sure there's no dry bits of flour. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is important that you do check. It's nice and thick. Checking all around, making sure that there's no... Oh, and, well, I did pretty good. Where I put my rubber band is pretty much where my starter is at. So that's just kind of a neat little tool that you can use to see how far your starter is actually rising. Let's see here if I can get a... Yeah. So I got this jar at Walmart yesterday. It was $5.97 over in the canning department. I thought that was a really good deal. And of course, I'll use it for other things once I'm not using it for starter. But there you go, guys. How's that? Isn't that pretty? And the bubbles, let me see if I can put this tripod down so you can see. I've already started because we're feeding it. Isn't that pretty? And we're just going to go ahead and put our lid on. And I'm going to set it over here on my stove. And then I am going to move the tripod over here and we're going to make pancakes. Okay, here we are over here at the stove. So I've got everything set out for my pancakes. Now this is my pancakes from scratch. I use self-rising flour because it already has the salt and baking powder in it. And then I add one egg, a pinch of sugar, a little melted butter, milk or buttermilk, but because we're using sourdough starter today, that's going to give it that twang taste that buttermilk has. So that's kind of what is so great about this pancake. Now it can be savory and you don't have to have the sugar or honey. That's clearly up to you, but I like just a teeny bit of sugar. And we use white lily because I just love white lily flour. Like I had said before, I moved to Tennessee almost 13 years ago. I'd never heard of white lily, and I tell you, it is the softest flour for anything. Look at my Italian coming out. For bread, I use white lily bread flour, and it's just awesome. For me, that's what I think. It's just a really nice, light, fluffy flour. Okay, let's get to this before I gush over white lily. I'm going to go ahead and put the tripod down, and then we're just going to go ahead and make these pancakes. Here is everything, guys. I've already measured out 2 cups of self-rising flour in my bowl. I'm going to add 1 fresh hen egg, or as they call them, butt nuggets now. Okay, I'm going to turn my stove on medium high because this butter is going to melt, and then I'm also going to use some of that melted butter in this. Okay, I'm going to add just a pinch of sugar, and I'm not going to use all this. I mean, that's probably going to be maybe a teaspoon. I do a lot of my cooking without recipes, so you'll have to forgive me. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and smash that down, and I'm going to add milk. Now, this is a cup, and I might need more, I might need less. Okay. And then I am going to add some of that sourdough starter. Okay, let me get a measuring cup. I'll use this half cup measure right here, so we'll kind of know where we are. Okay, there's a half cup. Pour that in there. I'm going to put a whole cup in here, and that's basically going to be all that pour off from today. And it's going to be just so yummy and tasty. And if there's any left in your jar, you know, where you can put it in the compost or in the trash or whatever you choose. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit more milk because I know I need more. Okay. And we're just going to mix this up. That starter, besides making it nice and tangy, like a buttermilk pancake, it's also going to make it fluffier because at this point, it is a leavening agent. We are almost to where we can make bread with it. Okay, now I've got this butter here. I'm just going to pour a little bit of this butter in here, just a tad. I don't know why I do that. I guess it's because it was the way I was raised. We always did that, put a little butter, and I'm going to add a little bit more milk. That'll be a full cup of milk. I will put the recipe in the description. As I'm making a mess, I see that I am making the batter go out of the bowl. But If you guys have watched me long enough, you know that I'm kind of a messy cook. I'm sorry. All right, let me go ahead and get that. While the butter is melting, now I have butter melting in my pan because that's what I'm going to fry my pancakes in. If you guys prefer oil or bacon grease or spray butter, that's up to you. Just clean up a little bit while that is. Yeah, I don't have any starter in my jar to really write home about, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. And there is your pancake batter, and that's what you want it to look like. Okay? These are so yummy. Willis loves my pancakes. I love them too. They love me. My body can dictate that. That is for sure. Okay, and so I usually use 1 ladle full for 1 pancake. Okay, and I've got it on medium high. I'm going to go ahead and move that because I'm going to put my pancakes on here. Now, we like our pancakes with a little color on them. So what that means, I like it with a little brown edges, crispiness. It's so yummy. So we will wait here for our pancake to get done. Rule of thumb for me is when you see, let me turn this around here. I don't want to pop the phone off. When you see the pancake starting to get bubbles, that's when you flip it. And I've got it on medium high because you don't want it to get, while you're waiting for those bubbles to emerge, you don't want it to get black on the other side. And I have done that, believe me. And you hear it. And you can also check under here because I can see. Let me see if you guys can see under there. See, it's getting color. Still need a little bit more color than that. Okay. Come on. I want you to see this. And I think you can see the bubbles are starting. If you've never made pancakes before, this is a really important step. And the bubbles will all come up. And, oh gosh, it smells so good. There they come. See them all? Bubbles everywhere. See, there's one. Okay, let's check the underside. All right, I think it's time for us to flip. Okay, there we go. That's the way we like our pancakes, with a little color on them, a little crispy. Willis calls it old-fashioned pancakes because of the way I make them. Some people like them pure white. We don't really care for that, but it's each to their own, right? If you like them that way, then that's the way. If you do like them white without any of the color or crispiness, you're going to have to turn your eye down on your stove. Okay. And it doesn't take long. You hear that? It's just about done. Look how fluffy that pancake's getting, guys. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And that pancake is done. If you can press down on it, that pancake is done. All right, there's that. Okay, and I'm going to turn mine down a little bit more because it looked like it was steaming. And then I'm just going to make one more. And you can see from our starter, we have little bits of the whole wheat flour that we started with originally. Just really going to be a yummy breakfast. And I usually will save these and go ahead and freeze them. And then when Willis is home, we'll just pop them in the toaster and have them for breakfast. What a mess. I'm always a mess. And what we're just doing right now, again, we're just waiting for those bubbles. So guys, that is what it is for pancakes with the pour off from your sourdough starter. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Super easy. And listen, if you don't make pancakes from scratch and you've got like a box pancake mix that's got, I don't know what you would add to that, maybe an egg or milk, whatever it says, you can also just add the sourdough starter to that, because basically that's what this is, you know. So let me go ahead and flip that. I'll give you one last look at the pancake before I sign off. There you go. Doesn't that look like something that you'd see on a Western? That's what Willis says. But anyways, that's it for today from Lazy K Homestead. Hope you enjoy the videos. And please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for my new subscribers. You guys have been picking up a few every day, and I really appreciate it. You have a great day. See you soon.